Hey guys, as requested, I'm going to be reviewing an interview of the vegan doctor called Dr. Klaper. It was an interview by Plant-Based News.
So we're just going to ask you some quick fire questions to get your opinions on some topics.
Okay.
What's the most surprising health benefit you've discovered from a plant-based diet?
How much better people feel when their bowels are working on a daily basis. The whole universe looks better to them.
It means that he must go to the toilet more often, which means that he's eating more indigestible food, which makes sense because he's eating more fiber, which is indigestible. Okay.
What's the biggest myth about a plant-based eating that you'd like to debunk?
That you can't get enough protein on a plant-based diet.
Meat, dairy, and eggs.
Plants don't have a lot of amino acids such as creatine, carnitine, and so on. Those are only found in meat. Of course, the vegans will say that you can get those amino acids by converting them yourself, but we have studies showing that humans cannot do that. And the reason humans cannot do that, they can, but very, very little, is simply because that's what we are not naturally supposed to do, seeing as we always used to eat meat. Vegan diets were invented not long ago, really just started in around 2010. That's when it got popular. Of course, the human body cannot and will never be able to do it, which means that you cannot get enough protein on a vegan diet.
What's the best plant-based food to include in your diet if you're going to keep eating animal products?
Dark leafy green vegetables. Have something dark and green every day. Have a big salad every day.
How does that make any sense? Green leaves are exactly what humans don't eat in nature. We stay away from green leaves. Green leaves are toxic. It's just the stupidest recommendation out of all. There is no such thing as a healthy vegan food, but if anything, that you should be eating fruits.
Most underrated plant-based protein?
Oh, everything from the legume family, pulses in your country, beans, peas, chickpeas, lentils, anything that grows in a pod, full of protein and wonderful phytonutrients, the fiber.
Phytonutrients are so-called plant nutrients. Humans can't use them. Fiber is indigestible. They generally have pretty much no nutrients. There's anti-nutrients also, and protein inhibitors, which means that you cannot digest the protein and absorb it as easily, and there's not much to begin with. It's just horrible, and it destroys your gut on top of that. They are horrible for the gut. They cause digestive issues, gas, bloating, even pain.
It nourishes your microbiome. Legumes, pulses, those are the most underrated but valuable plant foods that's available.
Plant-based fats in the morning, the afternoon, or not at all?
During the day, but in moderate amounts out of whole foods, out of avocados and walnuts and flax seeds, not out of glass bottles. If you are trying...
The guy is looking incredibly weird, really skinny. It's all red here. The eyes are sunken in. Just look at the neck. I don't know how old he is. It doesn't really matter how old he is because he just looks sick. He could be 100 years old. It wouldn't matter. He doesn't look like he's old, as if he's aging. He looks like he's degenerating. It's typical vegan degeneration.
To lose weight, in that category, then you want to separate out to the greatest extent possible the fats from the carbohydrates. So have your carbohydrates.
Where's the normal moderator from Plant-Based News? Who is this guy? I haven't watched this channel in probably years. I just don't know. Both of them don't look right.
In the morning, you have your cereals, you have baked potatoes at lunch there.
One is overweight from what it seems like, and the other one is underweight. It's as if vegans can't have a normal weight.
But if you're going to be having fats, the walnuts and the avocados, put it on your salads or a tahini dressing on your broccoli in the evening. But serve that with a low carbohydrate meal.
Almond milk, oat milk, or no milk?
Oat milk.
What scientific fact do you believe could convert even the most stubborn meat eater?
If you have children or grandchildren and want them to have a livable world, then see the harm that industrial animal agriculture is inflicting upon your children. Realize that we've used meat eating up. We've used fishing up. It's time to go plant-based if you care about the future.
Why can't he give one example? He says that it's bad for this earth, but in what way? Plant farming is incredibly bad. That's the reason the Amazon forest is being cut down. But what's wrong with animal farming, animal agriculture?
One problem with animal-based foods that most doctors are in denial of.
No one eats raw meat. Very active cooking.
What? Nobody eats raw meat? Okay, 1 second. What do we have here? It's not cooked, is it? No, it's a bit dry aged, you could say, on the outside, but you can most certainly see that it's raw meat, right? I've been eating raw meat for over 8 years now. I don't even count it anymore. It's not as if I'm on a diet where I'm counting the years. That's what the vegans do. The vegans count. Is it 2 months, 3 months? Okay, yeah, I've been doing it for that long. I can do it. Come on. More fake meat, more nuts and seeds. No, I'm not losing muscle mass. It's just in my head. I need more nuts and seeds. It's all seeds anyway. And if they get to 1 year, wow, I've been vegan for 1 year, 2 years, maybe even 3, and then they of course give up. They already give up long before 3 years. Pretty much nobody can take it for 3 years. They already start eating eggs and cheese on the side by that time. Point being, I don't feel like I'm on a diet where I'm forcing myself to eat a certain way. I'm simply eating exactly what I want to eat. And when vegans eat their vegan diet, they don't eat what they want to eat. They have strong cravings for meat. They want something else. That's the huge difference. You can eat naturally, and that's what humans eat in nature. Humans in nature eat raw meat. Tons of examples of this everywhere. Still today, Siberia, Ethiopia, Japan, people eat raw meat everywhere. Even in Europe, in the restaurants, you will find people eating steak tartare, sushi, sashimi. Pretty much everybody on earth eats that. All of these people who say that they don't want to eat raw meat. No, raw meat? What? No, I'm not going to eat raw meat. The next day, they go and eat sushi with their friends. Literally raw meat. They're not even aware of what they are eating.
Animal muscle, broiling the steak, grilling the burger, frying the chicken oxidizes the cholesterol in the animal's muscle. And then when you eat it, the surge of oxidized cholesterol flows through the bloodstream, penetrates into the walls of the arteries and sets off.
Oxidized cholesterol is actually bad for you. Absolutely, I agree with this. Oceanus Wonder Planets also talked about this. He was somebody who promoted raw meat. He's not around anymore. I learned a lot from him. And it's very clear that you shouldn't be eating cooked foods in general, not cooked plant or animal foods.
Atherosclerotic plaque formation. It's the cooked animal muscle. That's the most...
The plaque is mostly made out of hardened vegetable oils. Don't lie. It has been analyzed.
Atherogenic in the Western diet, but we think it's essential. It's certainly not.
What's the most delicious plant-based dish you've ever eaten?
Oh, my. My wife's Buddha bowl with some barbecue tempeh in there.
Barbecue tempeh, as in meat cravings. Your favorite plant-based dish is one that has meat imitations in it. Bravo. Thanks for admitting it.
And brown quinoa, which I really enjoy. Lots of...
Yeah, I'm sure you enjoy brown quinoa. Why don't you try eating it raw then, in its natural state, if you like it? Or even if you cook it, do you eat it plain, without any sauces? I doubt it.
If you could grow an unlimited supply of a plant-based food in your backyard, what would it be?
It'd be kale or broccoli. It would be green, without question. Indeed.
Yes, of course. Broccoli, a flower, literally a flower. Yeah, of course. That's what you want. You want an unlimited amount of broccoli. That's what human beings crave naturally. Green flowers. It tastes so wonderful, right? Makes you crave more flowers, kale, the oxalates in the kale, the kidney stones.
We used to have this campaign from the Dairy Association, got milk, but nowadays got kale.
How do you think the future of plant-based eating will evolve over the next decade?
It's going to become more widely accepted for all sorts of reasons. The price is going to come down. There's going to be more acceptance of this among celebrities and sport.
Yes, exactly, because it's an agenda. Of course, they are going to be pushing fake meat, lab-grown meat, and so on. This is all coming. You didn't understand that you fell into an agenda? That you're part of pushing the agenda of a lot of governments? Oh, you really didn't get it. I hope that you now understand. That's what veganism is about, by the way. You are being used, your tools, to push an agenda. I hope that you get it now at last. After 80% of the vegans from 5 years ago even have quit already because of health issues.
Sports stars, they're going to be going plant-based and feeling good and talking about it on social media.
Yes, that's why the celebrities, even though they were probably paid to promote it, still ended up quitting. Which celebrities still eat a vegan diet from years ago? Maybe there is one, maybe there's two. But again, in this case, even over 90% of them have quit. Over 80% of the YouTubers quit, and over 90% of the celebrities that were promoting a vegan diet have quit ever since. How does that not tell you that it's not the right diet for humans?
Etc. And the young people who have this great environmental awareness, when it dawns on them that that meat-based burger they're eating is destroying the forest that they need, the kids are going to stop eating it. And it's just going to become more and more naturally accepted. There's going to be more and more veggie restaurants, more and more restaurants going plant-based. And it'll just kind of quietly...
Yes, because they are pushing an agenda. They are buying up the farmland. They are forcing people out of their farms. Literally, that's what's going on in Europe. In some places in the US already, that's what's going on. People are not willingly changing to a plant-based diet. It's literally the government's forcing them to do it.
Happen from the bottom up, not from the top down. The government is not going to mandate. The government will follow our buying habits, and so will the corporations. So as the...
It's not at all like that. The government dictates what you can buy. Is he saying that the government listens to what the people want? As if the government is for the people? Is he actually absolutely delusional? Well, he is, because he eats a vegan diet, but that's a different level of delusion.
People get more educated and go plant-based in their choices. The corporations and the government will follow.
It's literally a grassroots movement. I can really see that. What advice would you give to someone who wants to quit meat today? Start with one meal. Convince yourself that you can make it through a dinner without any animal products. Pick your favorite meal. You like pasta, spaghetti with meatballs. We'll try spaghetti with vegetables and mushrooms instead. And nice tomato sauce. You'll enjoy it. Oh, I made it through.
That doesn't make any sense. The reason you would use mushrooms is to imitate the texture. You can't really say the taste of meat, but if you put enough sauces and whatever on it, the same way he makes the barbecue tofu, you would try to trick your senses into believing that it is actually meat. But then you're just saying that you want the meat, but you're trying to trick your senses into eating something else and believing that that's meat instead. It doesn't make any sense. If human beings would naturally want to eat plants, then they would simply go to a bush or a tree and eat the leaves. But nobody does that. They don't understand how contradictory it is what they're saying.
The best meal to skip if you want to do intermittent fasting?
I would ordinarily say breakfast, but now there's Joel Kahn and others are saying, no, we need to be eating breakfast, and there's some evidence that supports.
You simply need to eat when you want to eat. That's it. That's how every animal does it. You don't need any so-called evidence or studies to tell you when you're supposed to eat. That's slave behavior.
That you sure don't want a heavy dinner at 8 in the evening, and so late evening meals really should go there. Have your main heavy meal midday, and just a very light, just a salad or bowl of soup for evening snack, and some fruit after that. Get rid of the really heavy breakfast at the beginning and or the heavy dinner at the end of the day.
The ultimate plant-based smoothie, what goes in it? 3 ingredients.
Greens, and green. But really, load the blender up with 2/3, just packet full of baby broccoli, baby bok choy, baby kale leaves. You can buy tubs of them. Load it up there. Put in a 1/4 cup of ground flax seeds and some almond milk for liquid. 1 banana or an apple so it doesn't taste like lawn clippings. But basically,
wow, he admits that it tastes horrible. That's why you should add the banana, which is what all of the vegans do. Can you even call this a delusion? Is it not a mental illness? If you say that what's healthy is what tastes bad, fill up the blender with mostly what tastes bad, which means that naturally your senses are telling you not to eat it, but then add a banana to cover up the taste, because in reality it is healthy. We just need to cover up the taste of green flowers and green leaves, which no human being in nature would ever do. No human being eats flowers or green leaves. Any kind of leaves is literally what humans don't do, never. It will never happen. The minds of these vegans are so fogged, they are so removed from their natural senses that they don't actually hear what they are saying. They don't hear how contradictory it is what they are saying.
The kale, the flax seeds, and a healthy liquid, almond milk, oat milk, water, and a little banana for sweetness.
What would you say to someone who's concerned about their cholesterol numbers?
It's about the health of your arteries. It's the fried foods with the vegetable oils that have been sitting in the fryer all day. It's the grilled burgers, and etc. The high fructose corn syrup, the phosphoric acid, and the cola drinks, the advanced glycation end products, and the baked goods and the junk food. That's what injures your arteries rather than how much cholesterol your liver is churning out. Make sure your diet is whole food, plant-based, that you're not eating anybody else's cholesterol, no meat or dairy. And trust your liver. It'll put his...
That doesn't make any sense, because what he said at the beginning is true pretty much. That's the problem when it comes to your arteries. But then he says that the cholesterol in the liver is not really the problem. But then at the same time, he says, don't eat animal foods, which I guess he's assuming would be cooked animal foods, which would be bad, although not as bad as he's saying. Of course, you should eat raw foods in general, no matter what they are, as I said before. It's just that he comes to the conclusion that you shouldn't be eating any kind of cholesterol at all. But if you're saying that the cholesterol in your liver isn't the problem, which is just natural cholesterol, lipoproteins, which carry around the cholesterol, LDL, to the place and then back with HDL, why would it then be a problem to consume animal foods which have the same kind of cholesterol as your liver produces? Then he should come to the conclusion that it's not a problem. He pretty much admitted that cholesterol isn't the problem. It's all of the junk that you're eating. Why would then animal foods be a problem?
As much cholesterol into your bloodstream as it needs to. The people who have heart attacks with high cholesterol are the ones damaging their arteries 3 times a day with a standard Western diet. It's not so much the cholesterol. It's a marker.
Yes, exactly. That is true. But then why not eat animal foods? What would exactly be the problem with eating this? It's what you're made out of. It's red meat, and there's the cholesterol right there. Why would it be a problem? We've been eating this since the beginning of humanity. Name one problem with eating natural raw meat.
For what they're doing to their artery walls.
Got it. What was your most challenging part of your transition to a plant-based diet?
3 or 4 years in it, I developed tremendous meat cravings. And I put some fish back into my diet to see if it would make any difference.
Oh, wow. Wow. And that's funny because fish has more cholesterol, usually, depending on what kind of fish you eat, of course, than red meat. Again, depending on which cut you're eating, but overall, it's going to be like that. And then he's, of course, against cholesterol in general. But a lot of these vegans, plant-based people will cheat with fish, but they will eat fish because they believe that fish is better, even though by their definition, it would be worse, even though, of course, there's nothing wrong with it.
I didn't. I ate it for, I don't know, for a few times a week for a few months, saying I would get this great energy charge, and I didn't. And eventually...
Then why did you keep eating it if you didn't feel better from it? This guy is not making any sense.
I couldn't eat the fish anymore, and eventually the cravings went away, and my body shifted. Some part of its metabolism, my microbiome shifted, my liver enzyme shifted. Something changed in my body. So I felt terrible over it. I beat myself up over it, but eventually it went away, and I just look at it as a...
It's great that he can admit it. Maybe he is somebody who doesn't cheat if he actually openly talks about it, because most vegans would never admit to doing this. Still, as I said, he looks really horrible, really degenerated. I guess that he really is, for the most part, a real vegan.
Metabolic curiosity at this point, but it was challenging. I'm a vegan in my heart, and it pained me to eat these fish, and it felt so good when I just...
A vegan in your heart really just means a vegan in your mind, which means that you're brainwashed. You want to eat meat, that's why you have the cravings. It's literally you, your body, asking for it. You want the nutrients, and there's over 15 micronutrients which are not found in plants. Obviously, you crave the fish for a reason. You didn't crave the fish, you probably craved red meat, but you, because of your brainwashed mind, talked yourself into at least eating fish. In reality, you just wanted to eat a lot of animal foods. That's just what humans naturally do. It's the same as a cow not eating grass, but then instead the cow will nibble on some leaves. It's the same as fish. The cow wants the grass, but no, the grass is unhealthy. It's gonna raise my cholesterol or whatever. I need to eat the leaves instead. Just a few here and there is literally the same.
Well, that just stopped it all. Nothing bad happened.
Probably a lot of good happened from it, and you know it.
What's one plant-based food you don't enjoy?
Oh, I'm not a fan of parsley or radishes. And I just,
radishes have a pretty strong taste. I never liked them, even as a kid, obviously. How could you even? And parsley, of course, parsley is inedible. How could you possibly like it? But you advocate for eating green leaves. The video is insanely contradictory overall.
Much knows that. They sit on the plate, or she puts it on the salad there.
If you could have dinner with any plant-based advocate, who would it be?
Oh, Earthling Ed. He is brilliant. I just love his discourses and how fearless he is. He's so sure about how the right...
He is very fearless. He's a true fighter. He's a real man.
So being vegan, that he'll take on any opponent with any viewpoint.
Take on any opponent. I went to his restaurant. They didn't even let us in. They all hid inside. And the guy was nowhere to be seen. And they threw broccoli at us from the windows upstairs. Seriously, this actually happened years ago. That guy hides from any real debate. He would never debate me. He knows that I would destroy all of his arguments.
He knows, the Texas Rangers, I've told him, have a saying, there's no stopping a man who knows he's right and keeps on coming.
How do you handle criticisms about plant-based diets?
It's from an ignorance point of view, and they just don't know. They're still asleep. And you do what you can do. The best thing I can do is be a good example.
The best argument against a vegan diet, I don't know what he means by a plant-based diet. Plant-based means that you're plant-based. Vegan means that you eat 100% plant foods. If you eat fish, you're plant-based, maybe you could say. Not even if you eat as much fish as he did. Point being, plants don't have over 15 micronutrients. That's the best argument. It leads to malnutrition. That's why you need supplements, and the supplements don't work, which is why after a while, whether it takes months or years, you realize that a vegan diet doesn't work. And that's why you go back to eating animal foods. And that's why over 80% of the YouTubers who used to make videos about veganism have quit veganism since then. It's not a sustainable diet, health-wise, and in general.
Example, and love them and realize we're all living in this storm of misinformation, and it's so easy to get seduced, and people love to, as Dr. McDougall says, they love to hear good news about bad habits. Anything that reinforces it's okay to be eating meat, it's okay to be eating sugar. Well, okay, and they get seduced by that, and I have compassion for them. You just speak your truth quietly and sincerely, and be a good example, and they'll see or they won't see, but that's not up to us.
Ironic.
Do the best you can and love them anyway.
Overall, the message that I get out of this video, and this is what you should also be able to see if you're a vegan, is that the guy was not doing good. That's why he was craving the fish. And of course, other animal foods, he was generally craving the animal foods because, as I said, plants don't have over 15 micronutrients. It has to lead to malnutrition. And even besides the micronutrients, even macronutrient-wise, it's really hard to get what you want. And that's just because generally, naturally, we are supposed to eat animal foods. That's just what all humans eat in nature. The vegan diet is something very new. It only came about pretty much 15 years ago. There were a few vegans before that, but that's when it got popular because of the internet, mostly because of YouTube. And as I said, the YouTubers from back in the day, most of them have quit. And that should say everything, because these guys were hardcore vegans saying that they will never quit veganism. Some of them had t-shirts saying vegan for life. It was all cool up until all of the health issues arrived. It wasn't simply only depression, not feeling well, as in some kind of mental issues. It was very, very severe digestive issues, IBS, Crohn's disease. They actually had pain, bleeding through the I'm not going to say the whole word. Some had eyesight issues. As I said before, they can't keep up a normal, natural weight, which is why some of them became overweight, although most of them became underweight, actually emaciated. Some actually developed tumors. There's still some cases of that going on right now. Crazy stuff. And it's especially interesting when you look at the digestive issues, because a lot of them had to get their colon removed and all kinds of problems just because of the fiber, which the vegans praise all of the time, but the fiber is indigestible. It's just the indigestible part of the plant. That's what fiber is. That's why you become constipated and have a lot of gas and bloating on a vegan diet. It's not what we are naturally supposed to eat. The less fiber you eat, the less problems you will have digestive-wise, and the better you will feel overall. It's interesting to see that this guy is still continuing pushing a vegan diet, but the video is not even very popular. I don't think that many people are really still falling for the vegan diet. They just need to realize that it's dead. That's why most people quit. Thanks for watching.